Good afternoon, GRAR. This is Scott West, your 2025 president. We're coming not live, but in GRAR's fancy new studio where we're recording these videos. Sitting here with one of our directors and our secretary for 2025, Mrs. Laura Featherston. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm Laura Featherston, and I am with Greenridge Realty. I've been with Greenridge for 23 years. This is my anniversary month.
Wow, congrats.
So yeah, I've been in real estate for 23 years, and I've been with Greenridge for 23 years. And this is my second year on the board of directors, and I'm loving serving.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
We actually just wrapped up, the reason we have our fancy name tags on, we actually just wrapped up new member orientation. That's something that we do every month. Tell us a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Especially this month, we had 71 new realtors who packed the conference room, and they look eager to start and get into their business. And as officers, we come in and we share a little bit of advice about what we would have known getting into the business, or what we think it could help them be successful in starting their real estate career. And it's exciting. A lot of them had great questions today, asking about CRMs and how we get business, lead generation. So it's fun to share our advice and getting them off to the right start.
It's truly become one of my favorite parts of my month. I look forward to that new member orientation. There's something exciting about seeing their young, not always young, but fresh faces in the industry who are just eager to get started, and it kind of makes me eager again.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it as well. We also gave you a little teaser at last month's video. GRAR had hired a new employee. His name, and many of you are familiar with him, his name is Doug Merriman. Doug is the Director of Advocacy and External Affairs. He's going to be working on public policy strategy for us. That's going to entail working with government officials, community groups, communicating with the media. We want GRAR to be the go-to source locally for anything real estate related with the media. So if Cranes or Fox or Wood TV or any media source has questions, we want them coming directly to us versus just making up stories or pulling stories from online. He's also going to be working with private property owners, developing strategies with them. So he's in our corner. We're really excited to have him. It's a very big move of GRAR to bring somebody like that in. Laura this year is the director liaison for two committees. What are your two committees?
My one committee is DEI, and we had our first meeting via Zoom last month, and it was great to talk about our role and what the committee does. We went over our assignment memo. And then I'm also on government affairs, which is a passion of mine. I do love all things politics. So one of my favorite committees here at GRAR, which I have served as chair in the past, is government relations. Government relations is a nonpartisan committee, and it's the committee that meets with our local legislators, whether it's from the state level, the township level, municipal, county commissioners. We meet with them on an ongoing basis. Committee members are assigned to be liaisons to those groups, and also to municipalities. Some of our liaisons go to township meetings, board meetings, zoning meetings, and bring that information back to the group. It's pretty cool because it gives us a direct communication line to our policymakers, so that they know how the decisions that they're making are affecting the real estate community. Some of the things that we're talking to them about this year: lack of affordable housing. That's obviously something very big for Kent County and West Michigan in general. Short-term rentals continues to be a hot button in our area. Water quality, resurfacing with water quality and water safety in our area. Rent control has come up. Independent contractor status, how we are seen within our brokerages as realtor, with the employee status. And personal property rights and land use, those continue. I think the first time I was on this committee was over 10 years ago, and personal property rights and land use is definitely something that we want to stay on top of with our policymakers.
Awesome, thank you. They do the government affairs does a ton of work. I've come to a few of their interview days where they're interviewing officials, and it's intense.
Yeah.
They're there all day. I mean, eating lunch at their desk, and it's just nonstop interviews, and they put in a ton of time and research before they get there to prepare questions and be engaged when these policymakers come in and visit us. So thank you guys on the Government Affairs Committee for all the work that you do for us behind the scenes. Laura had also mentioned she is the liaison of the DEI task force, which I used to be the liaison on. And one of the things that came out a few years ago from that task force was a program called DeFi. It is now kind of managed by the Education Committee, but DeFi is a really, really cool program if you haven't done it yet, that they created. And I think one of the interesting things that comes out of it is if you come to our DeFi program this year, you're going to get all 6 hours of your Con Ed needed. So you're going to get all your legal, your fair housing, and all of your electives. It's going to cover everything you need this year other than your code of ethics training that you need. So a great opportunity in one day to kind of knock out all of that stuff. You get a certification with it once you complete Fairhaven. And we're I don't want to brag too much, but we're being recognized around the state through other associations for this program we've created. When we go to some of these state conventions, they're all asking us, tell us more about this, because word is kind of spreading about how cool the program is. So if you haven't done it yet, I encourage you to kind of keep your eye out for that and possibly sign up. Laura had mentioned something recently. We were just having this conversation about professionalism, and this popped up in our newsletter this week. Tell us a little bit about what popped up in our newsletter.
Yeah, 2 issues popped up in our newsletter, and it continues to pop up. And those of you who are on the Facebook site, you know, every day we seem to see these posts that come on to do better. And I think, you know, since I've been in this association, it's just a constant goal of every board of directors and just everybody in this association is, how do we do better? How do we become more professional? How do we raise the bar? The public is looking at us, and I think with social media and just the rapid response, you know, we hear more about these cases. Obviously, things were going on. I could tell you stories about things that happened 20 years ago, lack of professionalism. So this isn't something that's new. But I think now, with people being able, you know, my client texted me. So many of you saw my client text, she was very upset, and I had to calm her down. And again, you know, did she overreact? A seller overreacting, we can't overlook that, because to them, you know, their house and their property and how people are treating it, it's very important that realtors also manage their guests. And you know, I'm not going to say that I'm perfect at it. I had a buyer a couple weeks ago who started playing the piano in someone's house. And it took me by surprise, because I don't normally go in and say, hey, everybody, don't touch the piano. But seriously, a buyer sat down and started playing the piano. So I was kind of surprised. I didn't see it on the Facebook site that an agent let somebody play the piano in my house. But I think we all have to be cognizant that we're representing a huge association. We're representing a very professional organization. We handle some of the largest monetary investments in people's lives. And I think that just taking that extra step to making sure we, you know, do as a list agent or a seller request, turn on lights, turn off lights, whatever is requested. Just take an extra step. I urge everybody, as they're out showing houses, to just take an extra step to do what's right.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes it feels like we become our own worst enemy in this industry. You know, our industry has been under enough scrutiny lately. Adding to it by some of this sort of unprofessional behavior is not helping our cause. So I appreciate your sentiment on that. I think we all, heading into what we like to call our busy spring season, it's always great to refocus. It's very easy to kind of get a little too relaxed. So refocus, let's all move forward in a professional manner when we're showing houses. We had our board meeting yesterday. Yes. It was a jam-packed agenda. We talked about a number of form changes. We talked about a couple policy changes. One of the big ones that we talked about were the new forms that we just released. Laura, do you want to tell us a little bit about these new forms and where people can find them?
Yeah, I'm going to just highlight on a couple changes that were made. There actually weren't a huge number of changes that were made, and thank you to the Forms Committee for all you did over the last year to come up with good changes for the forms. Always know that these are things that you should be getting from your broker. The forms are found online. There's also a PowerPoint that is available that talks about the different changes and the rationale behind the changes. So I urge you to go to that. But just to highlight some of the things, and this first one, this was big for me. The effective date on the purchase agreement was revised to change that an offer is binding upon acceptance, and here's the key, and delivery. In the past, the purchase agreement only referred to acceptance, but now we know that delivery is key. And we had this discussion at my office the other day because we did go over the PowerPoint and the changes. And I actually, this came, as an issue that I had brought up. So we need to communicate. This is something that agents need to communicate. We have been kind of gotten into the situation where we look at the timestamp when somebody signs something in DocuSign or dotloop. That timestamp does not signify acceptance. It's when the response, the addendum, the purchase agreement is delivered. So if an agent receives something, at midnight, and it's time-stamped, or let's say not midnight, let's say 11 o'clock at night, and it's time-stamped for one day, but it's not delivered to the other agent or the buyer until the following day. That effective day is not until the following day when that was delivered. So take note of that if you weren't aware of that. A seller can no longer terminate an agreement based on a buyer bringing up something in title, like changing a cloud or addressing a cloud on title. So a seller can no longer terminate. Yeah, language that identifies when an offer expires. That area used to be just in the earnest money deposit section, but now it has a separate paragraph. So it's easier to find so that you can refer back to find when an offer actually expires. And then the final one that I think everyone should take a look at is that temporary occupancy form. It's been updated that it does have to be signed before or at the closing. And I think that that's a great form that our Forms Committee has come up with over the last couple of years because, again, we know that in West Michigan, it is customary that a seller may stay in their house. So that clears up a lot of questions about who does what during that temporary occupancy period.
Yeah. Creates a little bit of a roadmap for us to go off of. I love that they rolled that form out a few years ago. I wish more people would use it. If you haven't checked it out, please do. I use it on, I would say, most of my transactions these days. So thank you for highlighting these forms. I think the key thing that she said is there is a PowerPoint that's available that goes into real depth on what all these changes are and the rationale. And I think when you hear the rationale, it's going to better help you when you're explaining this to your clients.
Absolutely.
If you can really fully understand it, you're going to do a great job of explaining it to your clients when you sit down with them. Moving on, we've got, outside of what we talked about yesterday at the boardroom, we have got a number of things happening in and around GRAR. We have alluded to a new ambassadorship program. I'm going to have Laura tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the ambassadorship program is an opportunity for members to come and meet with the board members, representatives from the board. We'll have 2 or 3 of us that meet in the lounge, the Realtor Lounge, once a month. And the first date is next Thursday, and Chris Keekstra and I will be there. And I know other board members are going to stop in, so they'll be available also. So this is your opportunity to come in and ask questions. If you have an interest in a leadership position in the future, if you want to know about committee, what committee that you might want to become a member of it next year, or just maybe you have a question about a decision that was made and you want to have more information and a sit down about that. This is your opportunity. We'll be there from 9 to 10. Coffee's free. So come and join us. We'd love to chat with you. Don't make us sit there alone.
That is Thursday the 27th from 9 to 10. And we're really excited about this program. We don't know how many people are going to show up, but it's something that we spent quite a bit of time talking about over probably the last 6 months to get this launched. And we're just eager to have members have a voice to find out why we make decisions and how to get involved if they are curious to get involved in the future. One of the other programs that we have at GRAR, and I think a lot of people have probably heard about it at this point, it's called GRARLA. It's our Leadership Academy. It's, I would say, one of our proudest programs that we have as leaders here. It is our chance to create the next group of leaders. So this group spends an entire year together. We have workshops, classes, events throughout the year that they're going to attend. And so our GRARLA class is officially launched, and they had their first workshop last month. It was a storytelling workshop, and it talked about the power of storytelling when you're with your clients, when you're messaging out to grow your business, how important storytelling is. And just coincidentally, we went to a conference, 2 months ago, and yes. His speech, the keynote speech, was about storytelling as well. Yes. And he had this fact that if somebody tells you a story versus a fact, you're 22 times more likely to remember it. And that's just stuck with me. 22 times more likely if you're storytelling. So it was a really cool program that they launched last month to kind of kick off that GRARLA season. And later next week, they have a public speaking course that they're going to be doing. This is historically the one that they least look forward to, because your average person hates public speaking. There's some crazy stats about what people would actually prefer to have happen to them versus speak in public. So they're all going to go through that together as a group and practice, because fortunately or unfortunately, when you become a leader, eventually you have to talk in front of people. Exactly. So yeah, that's really cool that this GRARLA class is launched. We're excited to see this group spend the year together, and we're really excited to see how these leaders develop and where they go on with their GRAR career later on. Next up, Laura's going to tell us about something fun.
Yes, the Women's Council of Realtors March Madness next week at Eastern Hall, 12 to 4. It's going to be on Thursday, the first day of March Madness. If you are friends of mine, you know that I am a big basketball fan, so this is one of my favorite events. I've been in the past. A lot of fun. Great networking event. There'll be prizes and food and beverage. So again, get out there, come meet with your fellow basketball enthusiasts at Eastern Hall, 12 to 4 next Thursday.
We are not partisan when it comes to basketball. You're staring at two Michigan State fans. So we're both really excited. Maybe fingers crossed. We don't know if Michigan State will be playing on Thursday or Friday, but fingers crossed it's Thursday and you'll find me there if Michigan State's playing. So great event. We also have our Young Professionals Network here at GRAR. This is one of our committees, groups that we call it Young Professionals, but I always like to, I'm not all that young anymore, and I go to most of these. We always like to say it's for the young or young at heart. So anyone at GRAR is welcome to come to the YPN events, but they do something really cool every month. It's called Wake Up YPN. You'll see them in the newsletter advertised, and they typically do it in a panel form. So they're bringing some top agents in our market, the people that you want to learn from, hear about. They're going to bring them in and kind of give them a dedicated topic for that month. This month, we have Brooke Finland, Lindsay Dykstra, and Josh May, three people I'm happy to call friends, are all going to be on the panel, and the moderator is going to be Jen Smits, who is a local photographer that supports GRAR on a number of things throughout the year, and they're going to be talking about the topic of turning transactions into long-term relationships. Something I think both of us, I know because we just spoke at new member orientation, this is something that we are both passionate about. We really like the idea of building a 100% referral business, or getting as close as we can to something like that. I think for sustainability in this industry, it's really important to do that. So this panelists are going to be talking about that very same topic. They meet at the Egypt Valley Country Club when they do these Wake Up YPNs. This month will be Thursday, March 20th from 9:30 to 10:30. They'll have coffee, pastries. There's a opportunity to network with some of the other people there, and you sit and listen. You don't need to sign up for it. You just come. But we really encourage people to make it out for this, and don't assume just because it says young professionals that you're not eligible. It's for everybody that is young at heart.
I'm going, and
Yeah,
I'm not young.
thank you.
But here's what we have to say is you're just going to have to clear your day for March 20th because we'll have YPN in the morning, and then we're going to head over to Eastern Hall for that March Madness. So the 20th is out.
Yep.
Clear your calendar.
Only selling houses at night, apparently.
Exactly.
Laura is also going to pass on an update on a big educational event that we're offering.
Really excited for this because if you attended the Michigan Realtor Conference last year, you may have gone to one or more sessions with Trista Curzillo at
Sorry, Trista.
Sorry, Trista, your name, yes. But I think we got it, Brittany. I think we got Trista Curzillo.
Strike three, you're out.
But she is a dynamic speaker, very entertaining. She's an attorney, but she has just a way about her speaking. It makes it very engaging, entertaining. She takes legal information, but makes it interesting. You definitely don't want to miss this. If you want to get your legal out of the way, this is a great way to do it. You'll get your 2 hours of legal as well as the other hours for elective. There are limited seats available. I think yesterday there were 20 seats available. So check out the GRAR website for details on that. Sign up. You don't want to miss her because again, you're going to be entertained as well as informed.
I've had the pleasure of seeing Trista speak as well. We kind of, after we saw her, were just so blown away that we started to compare her to Dr. Bolio, who many of you guys have seen speak at our annual broker meeting over the years. She has this really cool way of making sort of complex technical information fun and palpable and interesting. And so I encourage somebody to grab those last 20 seats because you're not going to want to miss Trista.
Get lunch.
And you get lunch, yeah. So that is 8:30 to 4. It's tagged in the newsletter on the GRAR Facebook page. If you want to sign up for that, please grab those last 20 seats. That is about all we've got for you today. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, we're very easy to get in touch with. Shoot us an email, give us a phone call, or better yet, come to our ambassadorship next Thursday.
9 to 10 next Thursday.
Thanks, GRAR.
Go green.